Okay. So what we do is we focus on the light of divine being that we are, that's here, because we're all here. And then I'll share thoughts from Jesus. I'll ask Jesus where the denials are of our divine being. And we look at this in our heart. And then Jesus shows us in our heart, and then we release it. And as each being releases it, we just indicate it as we feel this in our heart. So this is chapter 13 of the New Covenant, which is a message that that I've been typing from him. Miracles and magic. I have said not to deny that the body exists. The ego would deny it to keep it for its purposes, to deny love. I'm willing to see how the ego is denying the body to try to preserve a sense of personal identity. I'm willing to see that with Jesus in the light of truth. Just feel in your heart with Jesus, because I know you talked to him. Did you have a question?
Well, I just think I could really, my body, really looking for this.
Well, that's what he's saying. Don't deny it.
Because that's like,
Yes. So just feel that in your heart. Just feel that in your heart, and that's an understanding that we're feeling deep in our heart. And now he's going to say something new about it. Okay? Yeah, just feel it in our hearts. Like, that's right. Because if we deny the body, that's beautiful what she was expressing in that. That's how the ego actually holds onto the body, by trying to deny it. So we're just having Jesus show you that, so we feel that and recognize how the denial of the body is actually part of the ego's plan. And to keep it for its purpose, to deny love. However, he says, you can allow it to be revealed to you that it does not exist. In the light of divine being, I'm willing to see that the body does not exist. So we just feel that in our hearts. And when it becomes recognized, we just turn our hands over. Jesus, I'm willing to see that in the light of divine being, this light of divine being that we are, know anything about body. This infinite love, know anything about a body. And we look as divine beings. And this may come as we go through this chapter. However, you can allow it to be revealed to you that the body does not exist, that you are perfect and whole, regardless of whether or not you have a body. I'm willing to see that. I'm perfect and whole.
You are better than me.
The greatest power is to see that the body is not you.
Right.
I am not a body. I am free as God created me. It merely reflects what you believe you are, and if you invest in the beliefs about what a body is, then you will experience the body. I'll say that again. The body merely reflects what you believe you are. And if you invest in the beliefs about what a body is, then you will experience the body. Jesus, I'm willing to see the beliefs that I've invested in to believe that I'm a body.
Really good somebody.
You will experience the body and feel very small and separate from what you truly are. I'm willing to see, Jesus, how I'm using the body to make myself feel small and separate from what I am, and be shown another way. I feel willing to have this body used for your holy purpose and only for this. Only to celebrate all the love that you have given to me. I have said that all healing is of the mind. When you accept this recognition, the kingdom is at your feet. Jesus, if I have any doubt thoughts about healing being in my mind, any doubt thoughts that I have the power to see that healing's in my mind, I'm willing to see that different. I feel willing. And allow the kingdom to come be at my feet as you have given it to me there. For the greatest threat card that the ego holds is to threaten death, pain, illness, and limitation, all of which often seem to express through the body. Jesus, I'm willing to see how I align myself. It's a choice to align with the idea of death as opposed to my divine nature. I'm willing to see that and turn that over to you. Any desire to have an experience of death. If there's any desire in the subconscious mind, Jesus, that I still have a desire for experiences of pain, I'm willing to see that in my heart and have you show me that I have a desire to experience pain, and to release this from my holy mind. Jesus, if there's any desire for an experience of what seems to be called in the world for illness, I'm willing to release this desire from my holy mind at your holy feet for this experience. If there's a desire for this experience, I'm willing to see it differently. The only reason magic seems to exist is that there is a desire to experience something other than divinity. The desire to experience cause and effect separate. That one thing can seem to cause the other. Something magic can seem to make a correction. An effect that seems separate from the Father. Jesus, if there is any desire in the subconscious mind to have an experience of an effect separate from the Father, I'm willing to see that and let that clear from my holy mind. I'm willing to see that there can be no effect that's separate from you. I have said that no harm comes from using magic, other than a delay in seeing your divine nature, and the recognition that divine nature has no need for magic. Jesus, I feel willing to see that divine being is made by God, does not need magic. I'm willing to see that. But actually, all my happiness is seeing that. All the happiness. If you believe in fear, it is well to use magic. that is in alignment with your beliefs. And certainly to see no error for anyone who does seem to be using magic, because our only function is to see no error. Because if we were to believe that someone else is using magic, that means we believe magic exists. The fastest means is always to ask for guidance. If your call is to transcend the belief that this world holds some power over you. Okay, thanks for asking. The fastest means of recognition of divinity is always to ask for guidance. If the call of your heart is to transcend the belief that this world holds some power over you. If you wish to deny that fear exists, the true use of denial, then all the power of divinity stands with you. Anything that appears in form, including what seems to be happening in a body form, is merely a powerful opportunity to transcend the desire for an experience of limitation. That feels powerful, so I'll read it again. Anything that appears in form, including what seems to be happening in a body form, is merely a powerful opportunity to transcend the desire for an experience of limitation. So look immediately with me as the seeming threats to a body appear, which merely reflect the viciousness of the ego. So to look immediately with me as seeming threats to the body appear, demonstrates your willingness to accept that you are divine, and you are not willing to bow to the seeming authority of an ego and what shows up in a body. Did you need me to read it again?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. When we look immediately with Jesus, it demonstrates our willingness to accept our divinity. And it is a demonstration that we are not willing to bow down to what seems to be the ego's authority. We are unwilling to bow to an authority that does not exist. In other words, bow down to some fear by what seems to be appearing in form, because we know we're the divine light. So regardless of what shows up in a body, we go directly to the light of being, infinite power. This is really that beautiful thing in the first chapter. Do not pass go, go directly to God. This is indeed peace of mind. It is refusing to trade form for infinite peace of mind. It is accepting that there could be another way to look closely at what seems to be happening to a body. To look with me, Jesus, at the underlying desires for experience and release them from your holy mind. All pain is a form of denial of divinity. I'm willing to see this, that this is a little piece of personal identity that I want to hang on to. I'm willing to see it with you, Jesus. He says, all pain is a form of denial of divinity, the desire to experience separation from source and maintain personal identity. It cannot last in the power of direct seeing with the light within. No pain, but this is a promise to transcend this world. Right here. And how powerful pain is for direct looking. It's like a gift from God for direct looking, because the whole world thinks that's impossible. It's such a gift. He talks about that, I think, in this chapter. Let's see if we come to it. Very powerful. It is of the ego, the threat and fear that something would be found in deep looking. So it becomes a display within consciousness. It's like a trick to the way the ego uses it to deny that deep looking. So then the ego's going to go horizontal and try to use magic. It can, it's not bad. You know, nothing's bad, right? Because we're still divine beings if we feel pain or not. But now he's going, you know, if we just look with me, and how powerful it is, what a gift that is, because it's a direct path. So direct. So he says, the threat and fear that something will be found in deep looking, horrific, that has no truth whatsoever. So it's really an invitation for all of this, isn't it? So just look when it appears. Yet, oh, is everybody okay? Can we? Okay. So excited. Is Hammer? Oh, good. Okay, very good. Love you guys. Okay, this is fun. This is the fun stuff. Okay. Yet you must step forward to see this, as stepping forward is standing as divinity. Rather than supporting an idea of who you think you are. Jesus is saying, I can point you in the direction and help reveal in your willingness what you deny. Yet divinity must fully accept the power it has to know and celebrate itself. And thusly see that the denials of divinity, just because they're denials, does not make it so. Just because they're denial doesn't mean it makes it so that we're not divine. The ego would call this jumping off a cliff and will attempt to convince you that it is. Yet it is merely a simple discovery that the ego does not exist.
There's only a step.
And will it would and it yet, oh sorry, here we go. The ego would call this jumping off a cliff and will attempt to convince you that it is. Yet it is merely a simple discovery that the ego does not exist and has no power over you unless you fuel it with your desire to experience it. I am willing to see. I'm willing to see that where the power is coming from for an experience of an ego. In the light of divine being. This is salvation. I have promised you perfect peace, perfect happiness, perfect health, and great ease that the Father grants you through alignment with His will, which is your will. I'm willing to see that the Father's will is my will. The perfect happiness, perfect peace, perfect health, and great ease. This is your natural inheritance. Anything else that seems to reflect in this world is merely the desire to experience autonomy from your inheritance. Nothing's okay. We have to know what our inheritance is. So Jesus. So let's just see if there's any denials. Jesus, is there any denials in the subconscious mind remaining that you're willing to show me in denying my natural inheritance? I'm willing to see those and release those to you. Nothing stands between you and the joy that you are unless you desire for it to seem to be so. So Jesus will just ask now if there's anything else that we need to see, any blocks, desires in the subconscious mind that we're willing to see them. So we'll just pause in a minute and together in the light of truth and have them brought so easily to our attention. We're willing to see them. And release them to your holy hands.
I've been releasing blocks today, but I really gotta be sensitive.
But right after this, we can spend some time. We can spend, because this is doing it right now, too. So there's a beautiful. So we just pause. Okay, just make sure everybody's finished in their silence, and then you can come back. So thank you for the willingness, because everything's willingness. This is the power of the light within. So I'm going to, this was a beautiful comment that you made, and so I'm going to open it up so that other beings can share as well. Anything that they would like to share that Jesus shared with them in their heart. I don't know if we can, we'll have to see if we can hear you all. Yeah, Janet, can you speak so I can see whether or not we can hear you?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
It seems to be cutting in and out, and I'm not sure why.
You can't hear me
Now I can hear you.
now. Okay, can you hear me right now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, I want to just say that I had an experience. I don't know how to explain it. I saw myself get my doubts and fears into Jesus' hands and took them, and the experience with me. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Okay, just in case everyone didn't hear that, let me see if I can say it correctly. You had an experience with Jesus taking everything, the doubts. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, yes.
In his hands.
I saw him take from my hand, and he took, and they went to his hand. Yes.
Thank
It
you,
feels
Janet.
like it feels like I'm going to cry because it was so miraculous, and I'm so grateful.
Oh.
This is the power of having ourselves be available to Jesus in this way for this direct conversation. That's the experience here. And thank you for that demonstration of it.
You're welcome.
That's a powerful demonstration of that. Yes, for all of us. Does anyone feel to share?
Yeah, what I just felt, Janet, was that you did that happened for all of us. And you reported that for all of us. I just want to bring that out. That it wasn't just Janet, but that Jesus took it from all of us gathered here. Yeah. Thank you for doing that to us.
Thank you for joining with me.
Kathy, would you feel to share tonight?
Well, sure. It was beautiful. Thank you for the, wow, I mean, just the body and the healing of the body. And healing is what occurred. Healing occurred. And, you know, I don't know what, I don't understand, and I don't need to understand why there's pain, why there's sickness, why there's death. That's what happens here. And this is a teaching reminding us that none of that is so. None of that is so. And we're not bodies. We are hearts and minds. We are the light. We are the I am. We are the Christ. And how healing is that? That's amazing. What a gift that is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. We love you.
Thank you, Kathy. This is Judith.
Oh.
Emma, did you feel in your heart to share tonight or to be silent?
Just noticing again the belief, or the desire to suffer, very strong. So that was good. Just having that back, and very grateful to be here with you all. Thank you, Janet and Kathy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Did you want to say something? Or you feel free? Okay. You don't have to speak. Okay. Yeah, it's always just that beautiful expression of willingness. So thank you. Thank you for joining. It's just such a blessing and an honor. And I shared this morning, about this really deep marination with what Jesus is showing us in that light. Really marinate as that light, because that's really truly all there is. Like Vicki says, she goes around with her blue life preserver on, her blue light preserver, whatever is helpful to remind us that we are before time. And to stay as that, rest as that. And to let these realizations, what Jesus is showing to us, to really roost in the heart of our divine being. And maybe not talk about it quite, for the sharing where it comes right from the heart, and just let it really fully bloom these realizations in the heart. And I can see why he's really pointing for us for contemplation of the book chapters deeply, this deep contemplation and the deep looking through the light circles for that direct experience, and then just keep marinating in that. Thank you.
I just want to share what Kay just talked about, marinating in the chapters. Because I'm doing the audios, and because I make mistakes with the audios, I have to go back over them over and over again and reread them. And this is a most extraordinary blessing. And I can't say enough what's in them. And that each sentence is a transformation. And each time I read it, it's new. It's new. So, boy, if you don't know what to do with your time, it's so powerful. And I just feel so grateful to be here in this moment when this is being channeled and given from Christ. And I asked Christ today, well, what about the levels of trust? And I was told, you've gone beyond that. What's happening here is beyond those levels. That's in the timeline, and you're off the timeline. So I want to share that with my sisters, my brother sisters. It's so much is happening, and there's no way to talk about it. There's no way to talk outside of here. But I know I could say it here.
Wow, that's really beautiful. It is really a privilege. You feel the privilege of it. And just pray for an easy way. And here the answer comes to all of you. Seeing it, my brother, in the light that we are. Look at these, how easy it is to look at all the desires, have them burned in Christ's light together. Yeah, Kathy, you have the chapters, right?
What do you mean?
Do you have the chapters of a New Covenant? For New Covenant?
In my Course in Miracles book?
Well,
Where are they? I guess I should say.
I'll tell you what, I'll mention it to Vicki that if that we could get those to you if you would feel in your heart inspired. She can tell you about them and direct you to where you'd like to read these chapters. Where I'm reading from, it's just I started typing like about or maybe 2 months ago, and this just started pouring
okay.
out. And so that's what I was reading from tonight. And
Okay.
that's how the light circles came and all these things, us joining. It's quite miraculous. I don't even know how it's happening, but I just know it's so divinely directed to be with all of you. So thank you.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Do you have a book?
Well, the chapters are, I just have them freely available on my website.
Oh, okay, okay.
They're freely available on joininglight.net for download for anyone who can go out there who would like to see them.
Joininginlight.net, okay.
Joininginlight.net. And miraculously, you guys, somebody's already translated chapter 1 and 2 and 9.
In Spanish.
In Spanish. It just,
It's wonderful. This is a fire.
it's a fire burning for all of us.
It is.
Woo-hoo.
It is. I just wanted to say to Kathy, I've read all 13 chapters, but today I go in and I ask, and I was guided to go into chapter 6 again. So we're always guided. I am on which to read each day. And I know that it was for me this day. This morning I read chapter 6 again. So I'm just so grateful because they're so powerful and they so touch my heart and help me to awaken. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kay. Thank everybody in this group. Another thing I'd like to share is I feel many energies of light. It's like I can feel many other people that are joined in that aren't on this Zoom right now, but I feel the energies of so many that are joined in this light. So thank you. Ah, wonderful.
Thank you, beloveds. Marinate, marinate. And we'll see you tomorrow night if you feel the spark to join with us. Love you.
Or tomorrow morning.
Oh, tomorrow morning too. 11.
Pam's coming on at 11 in the morning.
So that at 11, and that would be,
Okay, so the time is going.
yeah, it'd be 9
Let's
o'clock.
see. Okay, we have to do the times because Mexico, it's 11 o'clock Mexico time, which means it's 12 o'clock Central Time. So whatever your time is relative to U.S. Central Time, which is Houston and Chicago, whatever your time is relative to noon, that's what time we're on until April 7th. And then it shifts.
For the West Coast, you'd be 9 o'clock
Yes,
in the morning.
yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
I've tried to get in 2 different times and I couldn't get in.
No, the
10,
West Coast.
10 o'clock.
Yes, 10. West Coast is 2 hours behind Houston.
Yeah, it was at 9 o'clock.
10
I went,
o'clock.
and it said that I just couldn't get in, so it was probably bad internet connection. Sometimes I'm still in bed at that time. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye.